So I wonder if I'm the only one here, but when these released, it had me wondering what exactly Kith 101 is. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sneaker Circle. It is your boy Danny back with another review, and in today's video I'm going to go over the recent collaboration between Ronnie Fieg / Kith, or Kith 101 in this case, and New Balance. So the pair in front of us today is being dubbed the Moonrock colorway. So it's one of two that released in this last week. I'll go over release details and all those other things along with the other pair that released with it. I didn't get those. I ended up going for the 990v4, and I guess I'll talk a little bit about that model as well. So let's just get straight into it. All right, so out the box, we have right here, I'm gonna leave it as a point of reference, and in front of us today, we have the 990 in the Moonrock colorway. So, Moonrock is such a weird colorway to put out there. It's not the first shoe to ever use that one. Moon Landing Air Max 90s, we have the Yeezy 350 V1s. Those were a boutique exclusive when those originally released, and actually got my pair from Kith itself, back when like it was even possible to do that. And now we're seeing that iteration here on a pair of New Balances. So here we have the 990 V4 in that really nice Moonrock colorway. So one thing Kith has done before in the past is give us releases that are Kith exclusive, but the way they're constructed and the way they're designed is very GR focused. He's done that with New Balances in the past. He's done that with Asics, or I don't know if it's the brands reaching out to him to do it, or maybe this was his overarching idea for that collaboration to begin with, because these have no real connection. They have no intimate story like we saw with like the Marvel collection in Asics this year or in the past. Usually everything kind of has a flow or a vibe to it. I think the fundamentals for this is that this is a Kith exclusive or a Kith branded colorway, something you see from his brand or from the Kith brand itself consistently through other pieces of work, not just shoes, maybe clothes, jackets. This shirt right here is actually one of the Kith basics, and you can tell he really has that like warmer kind of tone to some of his clothes. I think in that aspect, it's very spot on towards that whole introduction to Kith. Like, this is Kith 101. Taking a look at the shoe for itself, because I know you want to see that. Quick look at the back right there. This shoe's really nice in person. So we have this really nice suede, and this is a New Balance that was made in America. I think most 990s are, or at least collaborations are. These are all made in the US. Retail is around $200. I think for most models, I think when you get closer to the version histories, they're closer to like the mid 200s, and don't quote me on that. So I always expect a really nice kind of suede to accompany any of these releases, or a leather. I don't normally see these shoes attached to like terrible materials, but I have seen some people say the pairs they got were lower in quality. I do think that's a New Balance thing though. Maybe they're dropping in their QA. Usually you don't see that from New Balance. Besides that, you have this mesh right here. So it's this really, I guess, Moonrock gray. So it's weird. Moonrock is a combination of grays, reds, so it's a little bit warm. It has a lot of green tones to itself. So if you remember the 350s, those in certain lights always looked a bit different, and I honestly think these in certain lights look a bit different. Like when I first unboxed them, it was really cool. It had like iridescent lights on, a lot of indoor lighting. They looked really gray, and it bummed me out because none of the photos were that gray. But then I took them outside, I put on some good lighting on them, and boom, we get what you're seeing right here, which is that really rich, just I guess greener, warmer tan that we're seeing. Those are colors that normally don't go hand in hand, but it's like, how do you describe what that color looks like without referencing other colors, you know? And then we have that cream right here, so no pure white on this shoe. I guess this is very Kith at this point. It's not like that yellow aged, it's more of that just cream offset. We have New Balance right here on this torsion system. I think this is the end cap as well, yeah. This whole part of the sole's end cap, and I think right here you have endurance, so that's the actual rubber pieces of the sole itself to kind of build tolerance and endurance here instead of absorb like you see on certain 990 models. And I showed it before, but the only piece of Kith branding is that little heel right there. It is 3M along with the N itself. The only real other place would be on this inside right here. I'm liking that these are labeled Moonrocks because I feel like every piece of material on this shoe fits that color description. So we have the Moonrock mesh. Looks slightly different from the suede, but they're still pretty close. I think this right here, it's not a nubuck. I think it's like a synthetic material. That's the only real part of synthetic material on this shoe besides like the 3M here and the 3M here. I think the suede is pretty good. Then on the tongue itself, you have that American flag made in the US. And I guess I can show exactly what the other option of laces this shoe comes with. So I went ahead and kind of laced this one right here. On the very top, you have that's like pure white. You have kind of this speckled one. It looks polka dot-y-ish, but realistically, it's just one single white woven with the rest of the lace, which gives it kind of that appearance of polka dots, which is unfortunate. I really wish it was just one solid color, but I'm guessing they couldn't really match this Moonrock on laces. And then we have this cream. This one matches perfectly with the sole. Even on the sole, you can see like where that end cap and endurance sole kind of meet. And they're still both the same colors, but like there's that slight difference. You also see it on this side as well, very light. So again, if you're really new to Kith, this is a good introduction to like what they're about, what the brand's about. This has no associated story with it or big collaboration push behind it. It's more of this is what Kith is about. These are our color palettes. This is an essential you might find in stores if you're going to go buy some clothes or something. It makes me think about all the other exclusives we might be getting in the future. I know we're already seeing Kith 101 with Orally, so I don't think it's exclusive to their own products. I think it's just like an introduction to the Kith brand expanding into other brands. So this is how they would approach a New Balance without it being like a Daytona themed or anything along those lines. And with the Orally collab, it's Kith's approach on their specific clothing. Sizing on these is pretty true to size in my point of view. I am a wide-footed individual, so I usually like space in my shoes, primarily on the sides. I stick to a 10.5 in these. I wouldn't go any lower than that. I mean, I could. I have had 990v3s in the past, size 10, but I just like that extra bit of comfort. So I wanted to throw these on feet, but before that, I wanted to touch up on a little bit about the history. If you don't really care about that, feel free to skip ahead. Not judging you at all. Just drop a like, maybe comment, maybe sub. What lace colorway would you go with? Okay, so a little bit about the history here. This 990 model has been out since the 80s. I think like 1981 or 82, the first 990 actually released. It's this one right here. We recently saw versions of this through Teddy Saints / ALD. They've had their own versions of this one, kind of remodeled, but it is older in the tech aspect. It looks more like a 574 if you ask me, this right here. And then in 1998, we did get this one right here. This is the 990 version 2. They introduced Absorb on the sole right here, so it's a little more comfortable than the 990 V1s. This specifically is the Salehi Bembury pair. It's very in your face, but very cool. Then we have the V3s, which are right here. Those V3s actually released in 2012, so now we're taking really big gaps in between the version history, which is kind of interesting to see. V3s look just like these. These are just kind of an upgraded version on those, but I don't know. Some people don't prefer this, even like this longer end right here, but I personally like the V3s a lot, but I think we're seeing a lot of V4s to 6s. Then here we have the V5 that came out in 2019, and then this one is the V6, the current one that you might be able to find like on sale, GRs of. This one released in 2002. And that's just talking about the 990. This doesn't count the 991, the 992, 998s. It just progresses. So it's kind of a lot to take in, especially if you're new to New Balance. But I mean, it is what it is. These are very comfortable shoes. Dad shoes maybe. But if you're looking for a good pair of shoes to get you through the day, walking, being on your feet, I'll highly suggest 990 V3 and up. I personally don't like the V2s too much. I think they're a little too narrow. And the V1s are a little dated in my opinion to actually be really comfortable. All right, that's where I'm gonna end this review. Thank you for making it this part. And like I promised, on feet's coming right about now.